Here is the investigation from the visual investigation from the New York Times. Okay. Eric Toller, friend of the show, Eric Toller, went in with the visual investigations team at the New York Times and detailed second-by-second video analysis of all the video footage for the killing of Renee Good in Minneapolis. This is a crazy way to fucking do this, by the way, frame by frame. Like, why wouldn't you post this as a regular, whatever.
This is a cell phone video filmed by
they made this straight for TikTok.
the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis. The White House press secretary said this footage reaffirmed President Trump's previous claim, based on other videos, that Miss Good, quote, didn't try to run him over, she ran him over. Get out of the car. Watched in isolation, the cell phone video might look like that's the case. But when analyzed alongside other angles of the shooting, synchronized by the Times, a much more complicated picture is revealed. More footage will likely emerge, but the currently available visual evidence still shows no indication Agent Jonathan Ross got run over. The footage does provide some visibility into the positioning between the agent and Miss Good's SUV and the key moments of escalation. And it establishes, frame by frame, how Agent Ross put himself in a dangerous position near her vehicle in the first place. About 3 minutes before the shooting, footage shows Miss Good and her wife park their maroon SUV in the middle of the street and begin honking and heckling. Administration officials say they were impeding and blocking immigration agents. Footage shows 11 vehicles maneuver around the SUV, including this Chevy Tahoe driven by Agent Ross. When he exits, he's already filming Miss Good's SUV, not with a body camera typical of most law enforcement, but using a cell phone in his hand. It's not clear why. The agent's footage shows his interactions with Miss Good.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
And her wife.
I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning.
There's verbal jabbing.
It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S.
By the way, when she says it'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later, what she's indicating is they're leaving, but you can conduct an investigation and try and, criminally punish us after the fact. Ross, on the other hand, obviously has a different opinion in mind.
We see the agent switching the phone from his right hand to his left as he heads toward the front seat of his Tahoe.
I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
During this time, on the other side of the SUV, 2 new agents arrive in a pickup. We see Miss Good motions them to go around.
Yeah, she's also talking about ice switching plates, yes.
Around her.
Go ahead. Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car.
Over the next 6 seconds,
Out of the car.
we see one agent reaching into the SUV, Miss Good starting to drive, then Agent Ross firing 3 shots. Now let's go back and analyze some of the key contested moments of the agent's cell phone video, alongside other footage to break down what happens during these critical 6 seconds. Here, the agent's cell phone footage shows he's moving directly in front of the SUV, as it's reversing and rotating towards him, initiating a 3-point turn apparently to leave. Law enforcement officers are trained to avoid doing this because it puts them in danger and often leads to the use of force against drivers. The cell phone is focused squarely on Miss Good. She looks down, shifts into drive, and begins turning to the right, away from the agent. Cut to this high angle and zoom in.
Will Asman go watch this? No. And if he does, he'll go, yeah, you see what they're trying to do is they know they're in the wrong. Everyone knows they're in the wrong. Everyone agrees with me. This is the common sense position. And so fake liberal news is doing their very best to make sure that it just looks different. But don't believe your lying eyes, right, guys? Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah. Dr. fucking giant Dr. Pepper soda canister that he's sucking on.
We can make out the agent's
Base.
body and his arm filming. We can also see at the same time he's beginning to lift his other arm. On these cameras, we can see what's happening around Agent Ross. The other agent is yelling orders and reaching into Miss Good's SUV.
Wait,
Her
what
front
the
tire
fuck?
spin.
I had not seen this one before. Whoa, is this a new angle? Oh, shit.
As she continues turning right. Agent Ross is at least a few feet away from Miss Good's SUV. He does not appear to move out of the way. As the SUV rolls forward,
I don't know if the New York Times will actually mention this. I don't know if the New York Times will actually show this or say this, but ICE agents diving in front of vehicles in an effort to get a legal kill was such a broad problem that it was actually investigated in 2014. It was reported on, I believe, in 2016. This was something that they kept doing over and over again, that they had to change the law enforcement manual for ICE agents. Just so you understand.
the agent unholsters his firearm. We see in his cell phone video at this moment the camera drifting off to the left. The agent is no longer focused on filming. It's at this point in the
Look at her biting her lip and looking directly at the cop before driving forward. Wait, biting her lip? Are you all right, dude? What the fuck? The car does not even run him over. What the fuck do you mean biting her lip? You have to be a real psychopath. Dude, you are so deranged, brother. What the fuck?
cell phone
Anyway, let's
video
keep
where
playing
it
the
first
video.
looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently. To the left. The agent is no longer focused on filming. It's at this point in the cell phone video where it first looks and sounds like the agent's getting knocked violently.
Bro, she definitely ran him over. Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Just watch the video. Just watch the video.
On the other camera, we can see what's happening. Here is Agent Ross aiming his gun at Miss Good. And here is his outstretched arm leaning toward her vehicle, which is barely visible behind the top.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What's
His
that?
phone, which is gripped in his left hand, flips over when the agent's hand lands on the front of the vehicle. There's an audible thud when it hits. The camera rotates up towards the sky. Again, while it appears the agent's getting knocked over, we can see that's not the case from the other angle,
Wait a
which
minute.
shows he's standing with his hand near the headlight, his torso and legs away from the vehicle. In the cell phone footage, the agent's face flashes on screen, then it goes black. The other angle shows us why. We can see the agent's foot sliding, his hand bracing against the SUV, and his arm getting pressed into his chest. It is impossible to determine if this is happening because of the SUV's movement or the icy asphalt, or more likely, both. And what's very unclear because of the limited quality and availability of footage is whether the agent's upper body gets swiped by the vehicle as his left foot slides back. This moment is when Agent Ross fires.
And if you notice, both of his feet are directly outside of the trajectory of the car. What happened to the other angle? I think the other angle probably stops filming because they got scared or panicked or something. So I suspect I had not seen it before, and that's the reason why they're not showing it. Or maybe they might go back to it. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the other angle, but that's my suspicion. Look at that.
We see the other agent pull back from the SUV. Both of them stumble, apparently slipping on the ice. This is also the moment many have said looks like Agent Ross getting run over. And it does when watched at full speed. But looking more closely, we can see in multiple angles that there's a visible gap between the vehicle and his legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path.
But you literally see it. You fucking see it. You see it in every angle. Even the angles from behind, where both of his feet, when he fires the first shot, are outside of the trajectory of the vehicle, okay? The vehicle is traveling in a different direction. He leans into the car. Why do we even argue if he ran her over or not? She shouldn't have shot her anyway. You mean he shouldn't have shot her anyway? Yes, he shouldn't have shot her regardless. He shouldn't have actually approached the car from the front. All of these things are true. But the real reason why we're fucking arguing on this is because this is such a breaking of reality, a fracturing of reality point for so many people that I am going to consistently keep hammering this position over and over again, because it's very clear that while all those other things that you're saying are true, okay, he had no right to actually react this way, and it is a execution in fucking broad daylight. There are still people who are trying to find a way to justify it. That's why they talk about like, oh, she was licking her lips and all this shit. Where's that fucking chatter? Where's that fucking chatter that was talking about how she was licking her lips? Is he still in here? You're a dumbass weirdo. Now you know you have no excuse. She wanted to hurt that cop, biting her lip like someone going for a punch. Wait, what? Bro, I'm sorry. We can't live in a society with you. Okay, you are cattle. You are literally cattle if you genuinely are still maintaining this position when you see that she literally is avoiding him. Like, look at this. Look at this. He's leaning onto the car. Both of his feet are away from the trajectory of the car by the time he starts shooting. Here's the 2014 quote from the CBP panel that can answer Chatter's question. In many cases, Border Patrol officers were discharging their weapons out of frustration rather than to guard their safety. It suggested that officers were purposely placing themselves in front of moving vehicles and then shooting at them. This guy didn't even fucking place himself entirely when he started blasting. He was already away from the trajectory. But even if he was directly in front of the moving vehicle and he placed himself directly in front of the moving vehicle to shoot this person and then end up shooting this person and killing them, they would be liable because they placed themselves in front of the moving vehicle. This was in 2014. Fun fact about the murder of Renee Good. One reason why CBP issued policies instructing officers not to stand in front of vehicles is because of the internal reports showing that Customs and Border Patrol officers were deliberately doing so to have an excuse to open fire. Spoilers as to why Jonathan Ross was so calm in the camera footage he took and why he was getting his gun out before Good's car made any movement. Good was dead the moment she backtalked him. He just didn't have his excuse yet. So you have two options. Stop hiding her face. Brother, I don't know how to communicate this with you, okay? She did not bite her fucking lip, you absolute sociopath. She literally said, hey, I'm not even mad at you, dude. And he got so mad about that he literally fucking killed her in broad daylight, and you're still trying to defend it because you're a fucking animal. You are worth nothing. And this is the reason why you spend every waking moment online, because your family is embarrassed that you are affiliated with them by blood or in any way, shape, or form. You are nothing. You're not even an animal. You're a fucking insect. And when you die one day, people will celebrate. Do you understand? Only for a moment. Only for a moment. And it'll be a fleeting thought in the second after it's done. They will go, wow. It feels like a burden has been lifted from my shoulders. I don't know why. Oh, well, it must have been the wind. Keep talking your ass about me. No, I know you. I know everything about you, Pink Buffalo 90. You are a pathetic fucking worm-like loser who has nothing in his life. So he has to lean into moments like this to project power when someone else is actually doing the power projection for you. Keep lying about her face, dumbass. I'm not lying about her face, brother. You are a fucking loser. And when you die alone, people will forget about you. Have fun. Have fun with that fucking reality. Is Chatter referring to the AI video? I don't know what video he's referring to. Thank you for the free sub. Because if what that chatter was saying is true, can you imagine? ICE agents can just be around your car, and if you fucking bite your lip, they can assassinate you. Now, if that person had a single human being that cared about him, they would probably reconsider this position. If that person had a mother, for example, right? A mother that he still talks to, a sister that he still communicates with, he would perhaps think, well, what is this argument that I'm presenting here? That if like my mom is in the vicinity of a fucking ICE agent and the ICE agent assumes that she's biting her lip, then, you know, it's over for her. It's time for her to be assassinated. Sorry. What a psychotic fucking attitude to openly demonstrate. This is what I'm saying. Not only do we no longer have consensus reality, but because of how isolated and how alienated we are in this increasingly atomized reality that we've concocted on the internet, people don't have the capacity to feel shame. This is something that is so shameful that even the grossest fucking loser would probably feel bad about revealing. Okay? Man is a social animal after all. And because the only socialization that these people are experiencing is on the internet, they get to demonstrate antisocial behavior such as this one. This is why I always stress the importance of touching grass. Like, the argument that he's presenting is she bit her lip and therefore she should be killed. Like, what a psychotic fucking thing to say. With no care or consideration to what this means for a grand design. Is that a society that you want to live in? Where cops or ICE agents, which are not even real cops, can just kill you when you're in your fucking car and you bit your lip? Really? Lip biting indicates wanting to murder someone? I didn't even see the fucking lip biting, and I don't even think that it's happening. That's something that he fantasized. But even if it was real, can you imagine? Can you fucking imagine? That's justification. Like, Your Honor, I'm the legal counsel for Jonathan Ross, ICE agent Jonathan Ross, and I have an open and shut case here. Let my man go. She was biting her lip. You would get fucking thrown in prison after that. She was frowning at him, Your Honor.
His legs, indicating his feet are positioned outside the SUV's path. The agent's left hand is still against the vehicle and gripping his phone. We see as he fires, it's recording the clouds and the trees overhead. It's not because the agent is knocked to the ground. The other angle shows he's still standing, continuing to maintain his grip on his phone and his gun, and we see a clear and growing gap between his body and the SUV as he fires a second shot and a third. None of the bullets have the effect of stopping the SUV.
The arguments have devolved so much. Like, back in the day, they would be like, well, he has a gun, or she has a gun, right? Oh, I was in fear for my life. He actually was not complying with commands. That's a devolution from like having a gun. Nowadays is she was biting her fucking lip. What the hell?
But they kill Renee Good. According to our analysis of audio from Agent Ross's...
These dumbasses are so brain broken. How do we fix this? You don't have to. You don't have to deal with that. You don't have to associate yourself with that. You don't have to be around that. Those people only exist on the internet. I need you to understand. The average person, no matter how hog-like they are, the average person doesn't operate like that. And I need you to understand, like, most normies, if you were to have a sincere conversation in a larger friend group and a guy like this, who was like maybe an Asmongold fan who never revealed that they were an Asmongold fan until that very moment, if they said something like that, it's over. They're getting isolated from that friend group. Straight up. I know that some of you have parents that are brain broken by AI, Facebook, and a bunch of different things, so you think like every other person feels this way. It's not the case. I promise you it's not the case. And there's polling to indicate that it's not the case anyway. You got a fucking majority of Americans saying abolish ICE, okay? It's clearly not the fucking case. It's not. You got at most 20% of society that will unconditionally eat whatever fucking propaganda. That Buffalo dude came in 3 hot days ago asking if you respect the Bible. Bro, starting to have some specific opinions about HasanAbi, and I clocked that shit. That dude is far gone now. No, that guy is done. That guy already killed his brain. What remains of his brain cells, he already fucking melted. Okay? You don't have to deal with that person. And also, that person is cattle anyway. Jiggle some fucking keys in front of him, and he's going to get scared. Who gives a fuck? That person does not have object permanence. You don't have to deal with every single person. I will exhaust all options, and I will try to communicate with people. Okay? I will try to communicate with people to the best of my ability, but there are obviously going to be some fucking people that you can't, you can't convince. That person's brain is fucking jello. It's over. You can't save everybody. Okay? The Roach Dumpster called you a loser. Exactly. This is what I mean. Okay? Guy who is like genuinely repulsive, genuinely disgusting, turns around and calls me a loser. I fucking welcome that, dude. What do you mean? You have repulsive views and you're a repulsive person. When you say I'm a bad guy, I wear that as a fucking badge of honor. Okay? I wear that as a badge of honor. No, I know. Well, I'm just saying, is that bad? No, it's not. It's great. It's fucking awesome.
Cell phone video. This is his reaction.
Fucking bitch.
What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do?
According to a White House spokesperson, Agent Ross, quote, suffered internal bleeding after he was struck by the car.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Later that evening, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that he had been treated at a local hospital and released.
Did Ross make sure to check that she was dead and then leave? Yeah, we have more ICE agent fuckery, by the way. Donald Trump cares about people like me. Disagree, 66%, up 6%. Agree, 33%, minus 7%. This is why I say, like, there's 20% in the cult and then 13% who are still too stupid to recognize. But those numbers are dwindling every day. Those numbers are hemorrhaging every single fucking day. Here's another testament to how the attitude shift is so real. Jerry rigs everything, okay? This guy used to be an outspoken libertarian. It took him 1 year for him to ask if he could join the fucking Black Panther Party in armed resistance against the federal government, okay? Please. That's where the fuck we're at right now. That's where we're at. He's responding to clip compilations about, aura farming Black Panther Party affiliates in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia specifically going, can I join, please? Can a white boy with motion join the Black Panther Party? Come on, man. Come on now. Are you sure it's not a can a white guy say the N-word spinoff? Fuck no, man. What the hell is this sinister attitude that you have, dude? Why are you so cynical? No, that's not what's going on. Meanwhile, you didn't ask to join, which is exactly what FD was talking about. Exactly. No, he's a free Palestine advocate. No, I know. I'm talking about his radical transformation that has taken place. Yes, Gaza awakened something in many people, okay? And Jerry Riggs Everything was one of those guys. I know. I saw it happen. I saw it change in real time. I saw the trajectory. Yeah, he fucking dropped the Cybertruck. He hates Elon Musk now. January 14th, I no longer own a Cybertruck. Why did you sell it? It's just not my style. I was in the negative about you for a good while, brainwashed or not, but I see you for what you are now, and it feels great to have your voice on these issues now. You speak a lot of sense. Hell yeah, chatter. Thank you for your charitability. Thank you for your open-mindedness. That's the only thing I demand of people, okay? That's the only thing I demand of you is to be charitable. That's it.
To start in Minneapolis this morning, where President Trump is threatening to crack down on protests with the U.S. military. The president says if demonstrations against his immigration policies do not end soon, he could invoke the Insurrection Act, a rarely used 18th century law. And overnight, we got new details about Renee Good's injuries, including where she was shot and what the first responders found when they arrived. Our chief correspondent, Matt Gutman, is on the front lines of the protest and the crackdown in Minneapolis this morning.
Skirmishes between protesters and federal law enforcement seeming to intensify Thursday.
You can see federal officials trying to control the crowd here, moving people back. There appears to be a log jam. Okay?
That photographer pushed to the ground.
Get back up! Back up!
And federal agents pinning down this protester, appearing to shove their head into the concrete before marching them into the Whipple Federal Building.
Let him go!
A battleground since the surge of about 3,000 federal law enforcement into the Twin Cities over the last several weeks.
They have just deployed across the street to try to push this crowd back.
Earlier, we were there as officers blasted protesters with chemical agents at point-blank range.
I'm going to repeat my position one more time clearly for all to see and for all to understand, okay? If you're a fascist, I want you to become a liberal. If you're a liberal, I want you to become a socialist, okay? That's it. I'll take it. If you're a fascist and you turn into a liberal, that's fine. That's still better, okay? I would love for you to be a socialist, and eventually I hope you will. But that's my goal. Okay, my goal is to pull people away from the throes of right-wing radicalization. If you're a socialist, I want you to be a part of the vanguard. I want you to engage in labor militancy and organizing. Bro's a stagist, Lamau. Asman did a great job over the last few days to pull people towards the left, really? I think so. I think there is that too. I think he's so fucking aggressive with his commentary and how fucking like Ameribrained he is. I want to live in a world where the left is communist and the right is social democrats. Yes, exactly. Asman makes more leftists than you ever will. Fine, I'll take it. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I hope. Do you have any worries that pushing this hard against him will cause him and his audience to calcify in these right-wing positions? No, because the ones who have hardened positions will always seek out, right-wing commentary. but there's plenty who are just there for the vibes. Okay? There are a lot of people there for the vibes. And sooner, just as I promise, no matter how much you fucking shit on me, there will come a day when you will realize that there's an issue that you care about, an issue that you have personally been wronged by, and you will come in here and you will see me fighting for you, and you'll realize perhaps I was wrong. The exact opposite will happen with Asmongold. One day, if you're a European right-winger who's LARPing as like a fucking MAGA supporter in Asmongold's chat, one day you will hear him talk about Greenland and how it's justifiable to fucking annex Greenland. And you'll go, oh my God, I had no idea that this is how he thought about me. Okay? That's it. That's it. There will come a day when you go, okay, maybe this is a bridge too far. It could be when you watch him defend an ICE agent shoot a 37-year-old woman that could easily be your neighbor in the face. Like, there will be a day where he says something that is utterly repulsive. Now, for me, that very same thing exists as well. Okay? It's usually when it comes to foreign policy. My foreign policy positions are utterly repulsive to Western chauvinists. That's just the truth. Western chauvinists who are conditioned into believing that the American hegemonic superpower status is actually the perfect design for the world. Those who fear any sort of multipolar universe will always fucking hear what I have to say and go, oh, I don't have the proper term yet to disparage your worldview. And then they learn it's tanky or campist or whatever the fuck, a third worldist, right? But I know that what you're saying doesn't sit right with me because I'm fearful of the world, the grand design that you have for the world. Okay? That's it. That's what it is. For me, it's rarely ever domestic policies. It will never be domestic policies. Most people will understand that I'm, at the end of the day, even if they are kind of fearful of what I'm representing, because they worry about like what insurance will look like in a socialist healthcare policy, right? Like they might worry about that a little bit, but they understand that sooner rather than later that the way that the current design is working is not actually working for them at all, right? But when it comes to foreign policy, a lot of people take their sweet ass time to come to terms with what I'm fucking talking about. Only time I ever felt like that was like 5 years ago when you went on a rant about PhDs. Yes, my whole family are PhDs. I'm fucking joking, okay? It's not serious. Sometimes I fucking joke. Let me joke, please.
This latest eruption of violence comes after a Venezuelan migrant.
I work in data analytics, primarily job market. You can't see that in the official stats, but you guys went so bad over the last 12 months. I saw someone writing a report on how the hemorrhaging of the workforce, even in places like in VCs and like hedge funds, and what that spelled for the future of America, and how like that was the one sector that was constantly engaging in job growth. Everything is growing besides the US. Yeah, I mean, we're shrinking. It is bleak. It's definitely bleak. At least we have growth in ICE though, Yes, I know that Renee's still at a pulse when first responders arrived, by the way. 2 gunshots to the torso, 1 to the hand. ICE let her bleed out. And they had to walk, the EMTs had to walk to the location and carry her. And they did not render her aid at all initially.
Who immigration officials say is
5% GDP growth is shrinking. We're talking about the overall economy for the average person. You have to be joking, 26-month subscriber. 5% GDP growth because of 3 or 4 companies that are just like shifting around the same $100 billion is not actually helping anybody. No, I'm not going to tell the GDP joke again. I'm not going to tell you the joke about how two economists are walking in the woods and they encounter dog shit while they're walking in the woods. Economist 1 says to the economist 2, "Hey, I'll give you $100 if you eat this dog shit that's on the ground." Economist 2 says yes, eats the dog shit, takes $100. They keep walking. They encounter another piece of dog shit in the woods. Economist number 2, freshly $100 richer, points to the economist number 1 and says, "Hey, if you eat this dog shit, then I'll give you this $100. Okay, I'll give you this new $100 that I just got." Economist number 2 says, "Yeah," or economist number 1 says, "Yes," eats the dog shit. They keep walking. They think to themselves as they leave the forest, "What the fuck purpose did this serve? We both ate dog shit, and the $100 went from your hand to mine and then back to your hand." Economist number 1 says, but the GDP grew by $200. Okay? End joke. Now do the CIA KGB propaganda joke? No, I'm not. Every time I end a joke, I'm going to say end joke. Thank you for not telling the joke. I fucking hate that joke. Exactly. That one and the KGB CIA agent jokes. I'm just going to keep repeating them over and over again until I get better. Thank you, Senator. I was confused why a man universally known as a gay pedophile would fly to Israel. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head at A of Lovely. Much disdain. All right, let's continue. Okay.
In the country illegally was shot in the leg by a federal agent during an arrest Wednesday night, prompting hours of clashes.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
And overnight, new documents obtained by CBS News Minnesota revealing the extent of Renee Good's injuries. According to the Minneapolis Fire Department incidents report, Good suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the chest, one in the forearm, and also suffered a wound to the head.
Can I go check a pulse?
The report shows paramedics arrived 5 minutes after she was shot by ICE agent Jonathan Ross. Medics found Good unresponsive, but with...
No, it's not 4 shots total. She suffered a head wound. And I think it's because she, after she was shot and lost control of the vehicle and then hit the other 2 vehicles, she probably hit her head. So I assume it's from the car crash. So it's 2 gunshots to the chest and 1 to the forearm.
Pulse. They attempted life-saving efforts on the scene and in the ambulance to the hospital.
By the way, that's the CBS morning specialty here. Oh, did they? They attempted... Wait, hold on.
Good unresponsive.
Medics found Renee Good unresponsive. There was a good deal of stuff that took place here as well. Hold on.
Can I go check a pulse?
The report shows paramedics arrived 5 minutes.
They literally showed the fucking... Wait.
An incidents report, CBS News Minnesota, revealing the extent of Renee Good's injuries.
They literally show it, but they don't commentate over it? Wait, well, hold
According
on.
to the Minneapolis Fire Department incidents report, Good suffered 2 gunshot wounds to the chest, 1 in the forearm, and also suffered a wound to the head.
Can I go check a pulse?
The report shows paramedics arrived.
Wow. So you put the clip in, but it's just B-roll, right? There's no need to do commentary over the fact that they literally refused to render aid, stopped someone who was a doctor, who was a physician, from actually rendering aid, and then also blocked the street so the paramedics took 5 minutes to fucking get there on foot.
5 minutes after she was shot by ICE agent Jonathan Ross, medics found Good unresponsive, but with irregular
They
pulse.
just happened to be there, I guess. They materialized out of fucking thin air. Very cool.
They attempted life-saving efforts.
CBS News, by the way, the greatest name in Israel news, okay? The greatest name in Israeli news is CBS News, brought to you by Mossad's favorite agent, Barry Weiss.
on the scene and in the ambulance to the hospital, where she was eventually pronounced dead.
I love watching Israel
after
news.
A week of chaos here. Cameras captured vandals smashing this federal vehicle, then pulling boxes out of it. President Trump now threatening to send in the U.S. military into the Twin Cities.
President Trump has said that he would invoke the Insurrection Act and that would crush the protests here.
She was shot in the head. The report says it. CBS trying to be Fox. Wait, really? Like,
Your take.
That would probably lead to more violence. We're not going to back down. I mean, that's much bull.
And now, new cell phone video shared by a Minnesota state senator appears to show a new account in the aftermath of the federal officer's shooting of the Venezuelan man. A woman calling 911 and pleading for help. The Department of Homeland Security has said the suspect initially fled and that he and two others then allegedly used a shovel and a broom handle to attack the agent who fired in self-defense.
We've learned that both that federal officer and the suspect are going to be okay. Now, the FBI has offered a $100,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of stolen government property. That was that vandalized vehicle. And they have also announced that they have arrested one person. That, as we are told by organizers, to expect additional protests today and through the weekend here. Back to you.
All right, Matt.